Just wanna be with you. Just wanna be with you.
So today, stop procrastinating because I need a freaking shower. It's time to install a shower. So it's going to go in the same position it was on the Tahoe. It'll go right here. So we've got a standard RV shower box, and it'll basically be mounted in the firewall right here, or in the quarter panel. So a lot of things you got to watch out. There's a steel strut always underneath the window in these frames, so we want to stay away from that. This, we want to make sure we don't cut into the wall and have the shower actually underneath, outside in the tire well. And this little thing right here, if you watch it, that goes back inside here. So we want to stay away from this area. So easiest part is on the inside in here. I've already got all this kind of tore out and removed. So I'm going to top the bed frame is in half. So I'm going to take this half out so I can get total access here. And hopefully I won't have to take out the battery. We shall see. So basically what I've done, this is my limit. This is the wheel well. Back over here is the box for the fuel tank fill. So I can't get into this, and I can't get into that. And if you look above my fingers up here, this is a steel frame. Basically, this is like a support for the window. It keeps the body strong right here, so we can't get into that either. So what I've done is drilled holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I start in the center and work my way out at all my limits. So I get to my my shower box size. Does that make sense? So now I know where my limits are. Now I can put my square on here and cut out the panel. So I like to put tape up here because then I can draw my lines, and if I mess up, I can just erase or whatever. But I started this is my start hole. This is my furthest limit. So I need to come up from here and go that way from there. So I've marked off 11 inches, up 6, and squared it off. And this line is perfectly in line with that window, so it all looks right once it's finished. Well, nice and smooth. Take your time cutting so you don't mess up. Measure 2 or 3 times. But that's basically now we'll go, and I've got a sanding pad. We're going to clean all this up because the vibration of the vehicle, that'll turn into a saw blade on our plastic shower box. All right. So here's our test fit. Fit freaking like a glove. We're going to have a little bit of runaway right here, but not a problem. We can caulk it. It's going to pull it in a little bit with the screw and kind of warp the box a little bit and pull it in. But we can caulk it all. That's where that Permatex comes in play at. But look at that. It looks professional, like it was made from the factory. Okay, so what you want to do is do your plumbing prior, because it'd be way too much of a pain to get in there after. So I've taped all my pipes up so I keep them from vibrating. So you have to remember we do a lot of off-road, so we don't want shit banging around. So we got these good and tight. We'll go ahead and mount it in there and see what happens. So it is crucial when you caulk behind this to go around the holes, continuous bead around the hole, continuous bead. See, it's coming through the holes. That's a good sign. When I've screwed it on there, it's squishing through, so that's good. Also, you want to take your time with these sheet metal screws. The self-tappers, let them do their job. Don't try to force them through the metal. You'll mess up a hole, and then you'll have a screw that won't bind up. So we are beautiful. And it really sucked the sheet metal out in that bend there and got it perfect almost. We got a little bit of caulking to do there and there, But other than that, we're good. So you don't want to overcaulk. Let me get out of the shadows here. Just a nice thin even bead. And if you'll take your finger and lick it before you wipe, you'll have a beautiful line. Okay, so that's a wrap. Well, on the box install anyway. Got our shower. And then the plumbing comes through. Comes out of there. And we're dead-ended there, so we can continue on into our pump. That's where our pump and our accumulator's going. Then our 2 tanks will go right here. Electrifies my water pump. Comes into my RV camp shower that's built into the firewall of the Tahoe. Comes into a low flow shower head to conserve water. Still got really good output. Amazon suction cup. This thing's been stuck to the glass for over a year. It's awesome. So this comes into a DIY fitting that I've hooked up to rig up for the blue jug. The 7-gallon blue jugs, they're very common. They're square, they're stackable. This goes into my 12-volt water pump, which then in turn goes into the 12-volt accumulator. That takes the pulse out of the 12-volt water pump. This thing is a 1/2-inch pipe I've rigged into 3/4 PVC fitting with a 3/4-inch rubber grommet that makes the seal on the vacuum of the pump. I've notched out the bottom of the pipe so it sits flush on the bottom of the blue jug, but still it's allowed to suck water, so you get every last drop out. So, gonna be doing an upgrade. I'm gonna be getting away from the plumbed in water heater that uses propane. I just don't want to be like have to have propane, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's easy, but it's also expensive, and a lot of times I can't get it. So I'm gonna be rigging up a water tank on the roof of the rack. On the roof rack that holds 9 gallons of water in a black tank, and within 6 or 7 hours that water is going to be perfect for for a hot shower. And we're going to plumb that into the water pump with the accumulator into the shower, and it'll work just like it was before, but I'll have warm water without having to use propane. Okay, part 1, solar heated water tank. So this is going to supplement my propane fired water heater that I have on board in the plumbing for the shower. This will make where I don't have to use propane on those hot summer days. I can heat water here. It's 12 gallons. So let's talk penetration. So this is something I came up with, and this will supersede any kind of threading or tapping that you do to try to penetrate PVC. So this is a 1/2-inch PEX adapter. What we did was cut the hole in the PVC to just fit it. So what happens is when you have a 3/4-inch ASC washer from Home Depot, it fits the grommet, the bell end on top of that perfectly. So you can put that on there with the RTV sealant. That gets you through the cap. And then we're going to use a 1/2-inch male adapter PEX and put another washer on the back and screw this on. And when you tighten down these, it sandwiches those washers on that PVC. Guaranteed to not ever have a blowout ever again. Because if you've had a solar shower more than a month, you've had a blowout probably. So here's my fittings. We're ready to go. We're going to put this on my pipe. And what I've done is I didn't make a complete circle, but I needed 12 gallons. So this is what I came up with. I left one end as an open end. So if I want to add to or take away later on down the road, I don't have to cut another 90. And I've put my fill, my overflow for my fill is up higher than the rest of the system. So I've mounted to the truck using opposing pipe clamps. And so now I've got my penetration in the truck, and now what I'm going to do is flex this PEX pipe using heat, and this will let me contour it to the top of the truck. So you're just going to hold it and heat it up with a torch, and you'll feel it starting to get soft with the PEX in your hand. So now we're going to bend it over and contour it to the top of the truck so it's nice and neat and tight. And then we're going to take a cold, wet rag, and we're going to cool the pipe off. And what that does is it makes the pipe remember. It's like a memory. When it cools off in this position, it's going to want to stay in that position for forever. So now we got 2 good bends, and it's good and solid up against the truck. It looks nice as well. So this penetration that goes into the truck, I've got valve system that comes off my secondary pump. So I can fill the tank on the roof of the truck using the pump, and then turn around and switch the valves and suck from the tank on top of the truck with the same pump. This valve here is the overflow, so when I'm filling the tank, I can open this valve, and when water starts coming out of the bottom of this pipe here on the side of the truck, I know the tank is completely full. I can shut the valve and shut off the pump. You want to use a good plastic primer on all the PVC before you hit it with the bed liner, or the bed liner will peel off the PVC. So follow or stick around for part 2, where we do the interior plumbing and tie the existing system in with this new system that we built today. So this will give me access. I can pull up within 25 feet of a freshwater creek, stream, or clean water source and use the pump and filtration system to fill the 12-gallon.